Welcome to Fact or Freestyle.
We discover hidden secrets of BMX.
And now we're going to find out what's going on.
Let's see how far down this rabbit hole we go.
Bow, 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 ba-da-ba-dum, bow, 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 ba-da-ba-dum, bow.
The reason we started doing shows in the first place, at least for me, was I wanted to give kids that needed an opportunity. We work with a lot of underprivileged kids that BMX is kind of that gateway to help their lives and stuff. So then I would let them perform in shows. But then we started our nonprofit, our free training area. So now, our big thing is relatability. I let beginners up to pros ride our shows so that kids get that relatability. And then I invite everyone to come ride our place. So we start our shows off with, we offer nonprofit. If your kids want to do this, we'll train them for free. If they don't have a bike, we'll loan them one for free. We got equipment, blah, blah, blah. And the majority of our kids that actually come out to our place to explore it, and most of them, are returning people that come out and become a part of it, are kids that see us perform somewhere. So it's really neat to see. I mean, I'm sure everybody has that story of seeing a stunt team, or something when they were little, and that can kind of inspire them. I mean, I remember being that kid and seeing shows and stuff, and I was like, holy crap, I want to do that. And to be able to offer that now, and also that be a gateway to give kids that need a place to be in a positive environment, to be able to offer that, it means a lot to me. And shows is definitely that thing that gives me that opportunity to voice that.
And
you just said something that someone else said earlier. Maybe it was Keith. You said, I want to do that. Like, that's the thought that was the thought, I think, in Keith's head. It was the thought in your head. That's the thought that you're saying is in the kid's head. Yep. I think that's spectacular.
Thank you. Yeah, it's cool to see the kids that firsthand told me they saw us perform 10 years ago, and now they're performing with us. That was cool.
That was awesome. My question to you is, how long have you been doing it? How many years?
Well, I mean, I used to do shows myself for other people, but I've been running my show team for 12 years.
12 years. So have you met your goal? Because I know I heard something, maybe Joe, you shared that with me, that you want 43% of the 12-year-olds in Nebraska to have a BMX bike. Did you hit that yet?
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I would say 80%. Let's raise that. No.
Okay. I thought it was 43% of every 12-year-old.
Yeah, that's what I thought, is that you identified an age group of kids and you said, I want 43% of kids that age.
Joe, I love how you just come up with stuff and it's so convincing. I love it.
Joe, you're amazing.
This is what I heard from Dave, who has conversations
with somebody.
Is it true?
Is that the same Dave that I found in one of my trailers at Cornhucket while I was looking for old school stuff? Is that same
yes.
Dave?
That is the same Dave who puts people into bike bags and wheels them around.
Oh my God.
I think that perhaps Dave, I don't want to say isn't being honest, but that there's a second dimension to the things that Dave says that are,
I'm just
he'll
thinking,
say things so that they land, and then they have the effect when they land.
Yeah, and I'm thinking that you have to have some kind of goal, or maybe you don't, but we could establish one now. Like, what would be a realistic number? You said 80%, so I love it. Like, already he wants to double what I threw out there.
So let me give you a number then, and I think this is more like where I'd like to go with this. I would like to be able to help 100% of the kids that are interested in our sport or into bicycling to be able to get them a bike and help them get that.
Yep. There you go.
That's great.
I don't want to leave any kid feel left out. So
that's a much better. I mean, it doesn't have 43 in it, but Dave, that is a much better goal. Is to help 100% of the kids who want to do that. To do that.
Well, because as you guys, if
no Stoke left behind,
a lot of you
Stoke
guys
left behind.
No, that's perfect.
I like that.
But a lot of you guys that know Nebraska know it's a big football state, and I didn't grow up being a big football kid by any means. And so I know the need for these other sports, and Nebraska being such a prevalent like team football sport state, there's all these kids that always got pushed to the side, my friends and I included. And BMX is kind of, it's an individualized sport that can offer something. It's crazy having never been a team aspect guy. And now I run a show team and this compound, and I instill like team values all the time. So it's kind of weird being turned off from the team thing and now like offering a type of team thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Let me ask you some questions about that. So in the movie Swingers, there was a
with
moment
Vince Vaughn, yes,
with Vince Vaughn where they get into the confrontation with House of Pain in the parking lot, and what's his nuts pulls a gun out, and then they all peace out. Afterwards, Mikey goes back over to Trent's or whoever that other guy house who pulled the gun, and that crew, the House of Pain crew, is hanging out and they're playing hockey, and he looks at Mike and he goes, no, Trent, talk to him. These guys are great. They're all about team. Do you remember that scene?
I don't. I haven't seen Swingers in so long. Great movie. I need to see it again.
Well, now you go see it. So here's the thing about like the team sport. So like football, right? And I think that some of us have probably had this experience. If there's a coach, it's very regimented. You go and do the thing. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't, but you got a position to play. Or like kids soccer. I mean, people use the analogy of kids soccer throughout all sorts of like business organizations. It's just like, y'all are just insane. It's like kids playing soccer. Nobody's playing their own, right?
Yeah.
But running a show team is like Kermit the Frog running the Muppet Show. Every individual has their own magic.
Yeah.
And you cannot coach that. You can't
Nope.
run that by rote. Okay.
Nope.
You can't. But you have to figure that out. And when someone can figure that out, that is total magic. But
it is.
Eventually, it comes down to these principles of team.
Yep.
And it's unlike, I mean, I didn't play a lot. I played soccer. I tried to play some football. I did play football for a little bit. But I did not have that experience. In fact, it was the opposite. There was a play that I was going to run, and I pitched, or I said pitch, but I meant handoff, and the coach was just like, nope, wrong, out. And I was like, y'all motherfuckers, set this shit up. You're adults, and you set these kids up to make the tiniest mistake, to bust their balls and kick them out. Fuck you and the horse you rode in on. And I'm saying to myself, who are these coaches that are assholes to kids, right?
Yeah.
There is no such thing as an asshole coach in BMX. And I think it deserves to be that way.
Well, and I think you're correct, because if you have that, the only reason that the stunt shows that are successful and continue are because, I mean, you can't be a dick. I mean, you have to see what's great in each individual rider, and you've got to be able to make that magic, like you're saying. And otherwise it finds itself out, and you don't get hired back. I mean, I got to tell you this. This is we did our state fair last year, and I'm not sure if any of you guys have ever ran into a thing like this, but we were joining in on the parades like we normally do, and there was a Red Cross driver. The Red Cross was in it. And he's following us, and he rams one of our riders. And I mean, he legitimately rams him. His bike is wedged underneath the ambulance, and we're in front of hundreds of people on the sidelines and everything. And I always teach my guys that you guys all know this. You got to be professional. You got to keep your cool. Blah blah blah. And so my guy unwedges his bike from the ambulance, smiles, waves at the kids, does a hop 360, and we go on about our business. Well, they pulled the camera footage from the state fair, and the guy must have been drinking and just had a Michael Douglas, like from the movie Fallen, where he just got super pissed, and that was it. He'd had enough, and we were in front of him and just caught the tail end of his mood, but he got fired from the Red Cross, and Red Cross pulled out of the parade. But it was,
Wow.
that's probably one of the most wild things that's ever happened to us doing a show. Like it's just blown away.
Crazy, but what a great story. And the fact that he just like he just had that professional attitude about it, which takes,
It was Sam Bustle. You know Sam really well,
okay.
Dave. Like,
Yeah, of course.
Sam's a great kid.
But I think, and then Sam, all the people that he influences and sees Sam's behavior and how he handled that is like, that's the most powerful teaching method that you could ever use.
Well, even the lady that ran the fair, or the lady that hired us and everything, she goes, God, I don't know how you kept your cool. I'd have kicked the guy's ass. Like,
right.
he even knew she was, and I was just so proud of him. I was like, man, that level of professionalism is what continues us to get hired every year. Like, I couldn't have been proud of Sam. So
yeah, that's awesome. Hey, I have another question for you, Carl, about bikes, because I mean, you have it completely, you have everything lined up. What do they call it when a business is totally integrated? You're fully integrated.
You are vertically integrated.
Thank you.
Like
That's
Standard Oil.
Yeah, vertically integrated. I mean, you are, in my opinion, the model of that, because you have a place for kids to come and ride. And it's open now year round. It's free, right? It's free to come.
100% free. We have never charged anybody anything to come ride our place.
You have
That's
cloning
amazing.
technology, and you are cloning babies with BMX, and you're growing them. They're eating the corn that you grow, and they cut down the trees and make the lumber. Okay, go ahead, Dave.
And then
I don't know that Carl has been quiet about this.
Yeah,
So,
and then the outreach that you have, which is shows, and you do primarily like fairs and churches. Do you do bike shops? We talked about that a little bit earlier on the show. Okay, bike shops.
Yeah.
So all different venues. And then the other element is bikes, because sometimes it's not always easy to get, especially in my specialty of flatland. It's like hard to find, flatland that can roll off the showroom, as far as it all ready to go. But talk a little bit about that. Like, how did that come to be? Was that the whole plan, or did it kind of just build?
Oh God, no. My whole life has been, hey, let me try this out a little bit, and the puzzle pieces just kind of started to fall in place. None of this was planned. It is, and we've talked before, but I'll just give it the quick cliff note. I mean, we started nowhere as a clothing company based on helping a few of the local kids who didn't have dads in the picture, and I just wanted to help them out. And I said, hey, I'll start a little company here. Chloe, stop it. Sorry, my puggle's trying to act tough. But so we started this company around helping some kids, and I just basically wanted them to be able to feel a part of something. I didn't have the intentions of becoming a full-fledged bike company, and because I never pictured myself as somebody that could design parts, but then later on figuring out that a lot of the best companies are riders, because you know what riders need. And like, now I'm very confident in a lot of the stuff that I've built and want to continue building. And I've got a million other ideas, and I just want to make the best BMX parts possible that will go through hell and back, that when people ride them, they're like, holy shit, I'm really glad I bought this product. And not only is it really strong, but it's by a company that 100% gives back all the time and tries to keep BMX strong itself.
Right. That's awesome. And what do you have now? You have frames, we got
frames, bars, stems, sprockets, seat clamps. And I've got we just made a small run of like 16-inch high-end kids frames right now. We got this little kid named Huck Krasinski. He's 7 and flips. Like, he's wild. So we gave him his little signature Huckett frame that'll be released here in the next couple weeks.
Nice.
And we got a prototype 22 coming out, and I've got a couple things I can't talk about that I'm applying for patents that I'm hoping are going to change BMX quite a bit. But it's all one step at a time, what I can afford at this time and stuff like that. And you'll be really stoked to see, Dave, that I haven't announced this yet. I mean, I'm more than happy to tell you guys right now, but I haven't gone on social media and talked about it yet. But I took out a pretty sizable loan this year, and I put on in addition to the building, and there'll be a 100% full-fledged pro shop done by July. So
Nice.
I'll have my own bike shop as well, and it won't be just nowhere stuff. I mean, it'll be a full bike shop. We'll carry Odyssey and Fox pads, everything. There's no BMX shops in Nebraska, and since we have thousands of kids come here every year, I want them to be able to have access to helmets, pads, and good parts and stuff like that. So yeah, we got a full pro shop that's about 2 months away from being done.
Wow, congratulations. That's
Thank
awesome.
you. So we'll make the
just-
official
That's awesome,
announcement at
Carl.
the exact same time that we finish the pump track, because I'm hoping to finish the pump track and pro shop at the same time and go, ha, look what we got.
Nice.
Very
So-
awesome.
So your straight jacket seat post clamp.
Thank you. Yes.
I think that's awesome stuff. And when I got it, I had the most wonderful experience figuring it out.
What's that?
I didn't know what I was looking at. And
Oh.
and I couldn't figure out, it took me a good 20 minutes, 10 minutes.
What was
Like
confusing
figuring
about a
out-
seat post clamp?
I had
Yeah.
so because there's two rings to it, and one of
Yes.
them clamps, and then the other one, it clamps on the it pinches, it does the pinch, and then the other one grabs just the seat post,
Correct.
and so that it anchors on the frame, and then the other part, the top part, anchors on the seat
Post.
post.
Correct.
And I was like, wow, that's
That's
really
brilliant.
a good idea.
It's brilliant.
But I was like a simian, like finding fire, and like, what the hell is this thing?
Well, it's so crazy because I find it funny how we go one extreme to another in BMX all the time. And I couldn't find a seat post. Like, I run a tall seat still because I'm kind of old school. And I noticed that a lot of the kids are riding more posts now. It was for a while where they ran no posts and it was slammed all the way. But I just always watch it, like, and myself included, like, you drop the bike and your seat sideways and you're just constantly banging it straight. And I'm like, why have we gone to the point where seat clamps weigh 0.4 ounces and they have no bite or integrated, I think, is a bad design. But
Right.
we became so weight weenie that we forgot about quality. So I wanted to come up with a seat post, and I don't know if you've seen my demonstration video, but when I locked it on, I'm to the point where I'm either my wrist is going to give out or I'm going to break the seat when I do the slam side pressure. I physically cannot move it no matter how hard I hit it. And so yeah, I'm really impressed with how well that clamp design turned out.
Yeah, I want one bad because that's an issue for me with my quick release, because I have a quick release. So I think I could have 2 quick releases on that. That would be a dual quick release.
I don't know that
would
that would be
hilarious.
quick anymore.
Yeah, but it'll be
Maybe
quick.
we need to make you a special bar, Dave, where it's one quick release that cinches them both at the same time.
There. Okay. Yeah. See, you're thinking way ahead. I have a question too about Flatland. So I want to come back to Norway. Will there be a place to do Flatland other than that 10 by 10 area?
I'm liking that you're asking this now, because I can put some people on the spot then. What I know
Okay,
we had
good.
mentioned when we were talking last year, we were talking to our good friend Fred, and he wanted to try and help us figure out a permanent way. And I was thinking about that this year, since we're getting to that point where I don't know that it's realistic that we're going to be able to have somebody come in and pour concrete in time, if the cost is going to work out, everything's going to work out. But I was thinking I definitely want to do that no matter what, because I will say this, I love BMXers in general altogether, and I'm not trying to kiss Flatlanders' ass, but you guys are some of the greatest. Like, what I love about Flatlanders, they all stick together. If they hear there's a jam, they come, and you guys are all just an absolute blast. You clean up after yourselves. You're super respectful. You're super fun. Like, I don't know what it is, and maybe it's that it's hard. Maybe you just appreciate jams because there's not as many offered for Flatland. But I get compliments from people just constantly when you guys show up. They're like, man, I hope you have the Flatlanders back. And we're talking people that don't even ride BMX. They just enjoy it so much at watching it, that I think this year, if we aren't able to, because I'm putting a pump track in the space we used, you can see that. If we aren't able to do that, I know Gary Laurent brought in a mobile floor the day I met him at a Colorado fair. And I watched all these Flatlanders, you know, Gary and a bunch of guys, and Ahmed Johnson. I think that's where I met Jesse Puentes. And they did this show on this mobile floor. And I told my wife the other night, I go, if we can't get concrete in, I say we talk to Fred and stuff, and we figure out, talk to Dave, and let's bring in a mobile floor.
All right.
What do you think about that?
Awesome.
Yeah, let's
That's
do it.
very cool.
Because
You know
I want, this is my big year. This is the 10th. And it means a lot to me to be the 10th Corn Hucket. So I want to make sure everybody's included, and we offer more than we've ever been able to offer. So I definitely want to figure out something for Flatland for sure.
Yeah, you know, here's a crazy idea that Stefan Prontel did in Cologne. He used to do floor. Well, he would have the Flatland in various different areas, and Flatlanders. I mean, he's doing a full pro comp, so he has to really make sure he has an awesome floor. He started hiring. It was cheaper and more economical for him to hire a company to bring out bumper cars. Okay, and there's a bumper car, and it comes out on a semi truck, and it's all set up, but they just don't bring the bumper cars, and they just
Oh my God, it's genius!
Yeah,
right.
That's what the worlds were in.
Yeah, and that's what I've done. I wrote
Really?
it twice. And here's what's beautiful in this situation, and it could be obviously in your situation. If it rains, guess what? You still got Flatland happening.
Yeah, because it's a bumper car thing, and it has an overhead, right?
It's all covered. It's got lights and everything. And Stefan put plywood down, and I don't know how. I don't know. I mean, it's just something that I thought of, and I mean, I'm all about any kind of mobile floor that could happen, but that might be something to consider.
The other thing we could do, Dave, and I got of course have to clear it with the wife first, but I mean, you proved last time you were here that we could just do Flatland in my wife's kitchen.
I know. I mean, you're in the kitchen right now. I kind of recognize that spot. I think I did a Vanderroll off that.
You tried doing a Vanderroll off our kitchen table. Wife was asleep, so we were good.
You couldn't. You Vander flared.
Yeah, I didn't do a Vanderroll. I Vandered flare.
But Joe does prefer a smooth surface.
Yeah, and that's true.
If you could possibly make it just 3 degrees, that will.
And Ray,
that is my
touch down.
kryptonite.
I didn't even
What's
touch
that?
the ground. I didn't even touch the ground.
Oh, you never touch. I know.
I did a flare Vanderroll right off the table.
This came up with Brett earlier today. And what the hell was it?
Just feel like my snowmobile suit on.
Oh yeah. So Brett shows me this picture of a number plate that he found in his basement. And he said, just came across this in my basement. Eddie Fiola, Brian Skura, Dave Norrie. And I was like, wow, that's such deep Stoke. And he's like, next time I see Dave, I should ask him to sign it. And I was like, yeah, say, hey, this is faded. Can you retouch it? But do it in front of Ray.
Oh man,
I thought you were going to say I can't sign unless I do a no-touch run.
a no-touch run. Yeah.
Hey, Joe, just well, before I forget, I want to make sure that if I can stay on with Ray afterwards, I just need to talk to Ray about something. It's kind of been pressing and it's pretty important.
I think we should just do it right now.
Right now.
no, I don't
yeah, I'll
think-
talk about it now. I'm mad
You
enough
have
to
to-
talk about it now.
Let's
I'm
talk
mad at
about
you
it
guys a
now.
lot. Isn't that weird that I get really upset about really odd stuff? You know?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I
Let's
don't
do
know.
it.
It seems like these guys. Keith has been on this call for 2.5
Keith-
hours. He is like.
Keith and Carl and Yellow can mediate this. So
Okay.
Ray, please
Well,
state your case.
Well, wait. No,
throughout what?
I just asked if I could stay on because I need to talk to Ray about something. Ray, you need to talk to me about something?
No, I don't know. I thought you were talking about why I'm mad at Joe.
Oh yeah,
What
go
do you
ahead.
wanna talk to?
No, I'm good. Maybe I'm in the clear now. You go ahead. I had something I
No.
needed to talk to you about, but
Oh, I want to do that first. What do you want to talk to me about? That's even better.
Yeah, I want to do this.
well, last show I just felt like it was really compelling that you shared that you had something that was really affected you when you were at the Plywood Hoods event and we were at Chenga, and I missed the moment when Kevin Jones said, "You're
What are
on."
you talking about? We already talked about this already.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
we've cleared the air.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Then
Exactly.
why are you bringing it up again?
I have a point about it. My
Oh,
point-
okay.
Oh, he has a better apology because he
There's
went to
no-
his room and he thought about it.
We
No.
explained it. I thought, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead.
So I've already. I think that you accepted my apology and everything, from what I'm
Yes.
remembering.
Right. I didn't
advise-
even we found out that I didn't even need an apology.
Right.
Remember?
So yeah, I just have a request.
More batteries for your jacket.
Yeah, more back.
Where can I get one of those jackets?
Oh, it's almost out.
That's what I
Something got-
mean. That's why I said more batteries for your jacket.
I didn't even realize that.
I'm
Man,
very
this show's gotta
observant.
come over.
Ray is always right. It's incredible.
Aren't I though?
You are. You're on it.
I'm always right. All right, so proceed. Hit us
So-
with this.
I would hope that our relationship has gotten to the point where if you have something that's troublesome to you,
Right.
you could just come to me directly, because you basically came to Joe and said, Joe, you needed like Joe's permission to say, can I address this? I have something that I need to cover.
Right.
So I would hope that we can build our relationship so that you can just come to me. You don't
No,
need a third person.
No, I'd rather
You don't need a
I'm
counselor.
more comfortable going to Joe first when it comes down to my freestyle problems.
When
you know what I
come down-
mean? That was a freestyle. That was a direct. You know what? How about this? If I ever had a personal problem, I would come to you first because, believe it or not, you're not as weird as Joe. I think if I had a real problem and I told Joe about it, he would just say something like, one of his like very slow talking something, and I wouldn't understand what he was saying. And then he'd do his little saxophone giggle and be on to the next thing. But
And
you
you're
would be like, you're like a hugger in the Special Olympics. You know what I mean? Like no matter what I'm doing, how bad I am, how good I am, when I cross that finish line, I know I'm getting that hug from you.
Oh
And
my
that's what I think
God.
I need from you, Dave. I mean, the fact that I was a plywood hood since 1989 and didn't know it. I just thought you were going to be a little more excited. I thought you were going to feed off of my excitement, and you just kind of were like, "Oh, it's no big deal,"
And I
so-
was the one who hugged Ray when I heard that.
Yeah,
story.
yeah, you were my hugger. Yeah,
Yeah.
when Kevin Jones tells you that you filled in for me at a show, that is like the biggest like Rudy moment you could ever get. That's like the 1980 hockey team winning the gold medal, and you just ignored it.
I know.
And
I said,
so-
I'm sorry. I didn't want to
Yeah,
rehash this.
yeah.
Obviously,
But
we
I-
have more to work with, but
No, but it wasn't. You did nothing wrong. That's what we figured out last week.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You did nothing. You did absolutely nothing wrong. You didn't owe me an
Well,
apology. And because I said I don't like apologies. Remember?
I know.
And then I don't
and I
like.
had to apologize anyways, and that's
Oh,
terrible.
See, I don't need an apology. Even if it was something you did, I wouldn't need an apology. Just as long as you knew if you did something wrong. If you said, "Oh, you know what? I was wrong," I guess that's technically an apology. You know what I mean? But no, I'll still definitely always go to Joe first.
Okay,
And-
you're going to
and
Joe
when I
first.
have a
I just think
problem-
that there's
Yeah.
sometimes what will happen is they'll be like, I'll use the preschool that I'm at every day with these children, and the child comes to me and they say so and so did such and such, and they start telling me, and I said, well, go talk to the child about that. So I always want you. Joe just put his mic or his mute on. Are you gonna laugh?
I had to I had to sniff my.
So
snip your- I had a
He's
runny
drinking.
nose.
He didn't want to.
I had-
He was drinking out of his garbage can and didn't want to hear the slop going. Joe, take another pop off that jug and show everybody
Oh,
that big
God.
ignorant water jug you got. Let's see.
it has
Look at that thing.
7 a.m. Good morning. 9
Hey!
a.m. You've got it.
That's the Joe. I think that's
Hold on. This is not for real grind. I have been waking up at 5 a.m. every morning all year.
that's
7
what.
a.m.
You
is,
need to go
is
back
shower
and
time.
put a line on there at 5 a.m. and then say waking you up with bullshit.
I'm waking you up with this bullshit.
Yeah.
Ray, why don't you have this next few minutes of this show all to yourself, and you can talk with Joe and
Talk to Joe about the situation I have.
yeah, because it.
All right,
it
but
can't go on.
everybody be quiet for a moment.
Because
That's the same thing Kevorkian put the drip in. So people, that's the Kevorkian thing where they put a plunger in that thing.
Oh,
That thing's like a medical grade black something that's filled with some kind of fluid, and Joe's drinking out of it.
is it
You may not make
water?
Joe.
It's
You may not make it to your wedding drinking out of that thing, dude.
It's well water and electrolytes.
Well, oh, you're drinking well water.
I have this is well
Ohio
water here.
well water. You're gonna
Yeah.
die. You're gonna
No,
find
man,
a dinosaur tooth in it and choke on it.
This I have a story, but
Coming from
I'll
Ray that's over
pass.
there drinking tap water with,
No, it was coffee.
with fluoride in it.
Yeah.
Dude, we do have a lot of Philadelphia has some of the best water in the whole country. It's been
I don't know.
proven.
How great that water looked when they were wakeboarding in it up there at the ground.
Yeah, it's like the Willy Wonka chocolate fountain.
Yeah,
So-
that's exactly
So here's my
Okay.
situation with Joe, and this isn't even a joke. Joe is on social media with 19 different names,
Yes.
and I can message Joe on Instagram and he'll get back to me within minutes. But if Dave and I are on a text, like Joe, Dave and I, and we're like, hey, next week we have to do this, Joe has yet to reply using a text message, and he's got the newest, fanciest iPhone 13, whatever, and I just don't know why he can't text back.
Okay.
And whatever excuse you give isn't going to be good enough. We'll just start with that. So
Understood.
You're out. Yeah.
This is what I would offer so we're making observations. So yes, Instagram back and forth, text. So what I would suggest you do is next time this happens, make note of the time of day.
I don't care about that. That means nothing to me.
I went to bed early on like Thursday. It was like 9, and that's when they started. So I woke up at 5. I got
And you
in
should
my
start
car,
texting at 5 a.m.
and I get out. I get in my car, and I look and I read all of it. And I'm like, this is awesome. But I woke up 10 minutes ago. And Ray's never going to believe that I went to bed early.
I go to bed really early, so I don't know what you're talking about.
So today,
Okay.
I wake up. The house that Angie and I, the other house that Angie and I have is near her salon. And so I walk down, I clean the floor in the salon in the morning, and then I go and get massage. While I was getting massage,
Don't tell us this stuff, please.
I thought I heard my phone buzz, and I was like, oh my God. If I miss Ray's text
You've missed them all.
while I'm getting a massage,
Then
I'm going to hear about this.
you've never texted once. I've never received a text from you.
What are you
ever,
talking
not one.
about? Like Jim McKay just said, how's it going? And I said, still going. And I was going back and forth. I said, guys, I got Flat Bible to be on the show. How are you not getting these?
I'm not getting these texts. You must. Am I on that text thing?
You are
Am I
on
on
this
that?
text. You are on this text.
No, I don't think so, Joe.
Oh, wait. Shit. Get the
My name's hold on, Joe. My name's Ray Schleckweg. You may have known me as Large Ray. You might
You're
have me
in my
your
phone is L.
No, that's Kevin Jones's number. You got the
That's
wrong number.
not Kevin
Joe.
Jones's number.
You're texting Kevin. You nitwit. I was wrong when I said no answer is good enough, because now I realize that you're like between all the hot tubs and these massage things and the 2 falls when you were a little kid, your brain's mush, and you're,
And it's well
you're
water.
like
Ohio.
you
well
drink
water.
well water with a dinosaur tooth in it. You have a lot of problems, man.
look, they are tools, they are advantages. It's how you use the cards.
So I'm
that
not
you've
getting your
played.
text messages because you're texting Kevin Jones.
This is insane.
Okay, Joe, we'll get you the right number. We'll get you Ray's number.
What are you? Why would you?
Can we do it to be continued and get RL on here next time? And
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
wait, yeah, I want to have. You know what, Joe?
I want to have
wait, next-
RL
Next week. Oh, I won't be around next week, by the way, unless you do it like at a different time. Like
Okay, wait. Can we
next
talk?
Saturday. Can you do it Sunday? Because Saturday I won't be around.
Can we talk about that because that's actually really important? And I know that you guys have been on, like, especially you, Keith, if you've been on here for 2.5 hours plus now.
Oh,
But,
so Ray.
Thank you,
yeah.
Keith. See, Keith
And Ray-
recognizes
I
it, but
forgot
you
that-
don't.
I forgot that, Ray, this time I asked you to join at the top of the hour, not at the half hour. So yeah, thank you, Ray. You've been here the whole time too.
Yes. Thank you.
So I won't be here either because I'll be traveling and I'm only going to be able
But
to.
we can't leave Joe by himself. It's like leaving a kid in your daycare.
What are we
eating
going
all
to
the
do?
paste.
Should we just close up shop? Who can step up to it? Carl?
If we can we do it? Can you do it Sunday? Or
I
is
can't do
that
it Sunday.
Joe's day of rest? He has all these different things that he has to do between
I
high
mean-
tubs, massages, getting married. That's his
I
day
do
of
have
rest.
rituals. I do
Yeah,
have
and-
rituals.
I mean,
And
if he's
my-
getting married, he may be on his honeymoon.
Right.
Oh,
Well, my
you don't need a
position,
honeymoon.
My
You don't need a
every day
honeymoon.
is every day.
Yeah,
is
every
our
day is a honeymoon. There you go. What a sweetheart. He should write cards for Hallmark.
That's a
Well-
great idea, actually. Stoke
Yeah,
greeting
Stoke.
cards.
See
Happy
that?
Stoke Day.
See that? And I give
Happy
you this,
Stoke.
Joe, all for free. Everything I give you is for free, Joe. You will never have to pay for anything I give you.
no
This is
Stoke
the
left
greatest.
behind.
This is the greatest.
Yeah.
Okay,
Whatever.
so somebody has to facilitate the next week's call because I will not be here, and they have to be the chief inspirational officer. So
Can we do it Sunday? I say Sunday we get R.L. Osborne and Woody on,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
I'll ask all the questions.
okay, so be it. That's good. I might just chime in just for a few minutes, depending on my connection.
On a Sunday, if we can do it Sunday.
I can make that happen.
Yeah, you could. Joe,
Right.
we need R.L. Osborne and Woody Itzen,
Pick down.
and
It's a long time,
and
so you know, that was a long time.
and technically
It is-
RL once had a mustache, so we need people that rode in the '80s with mustaches. We can get Maurice. We should have a full mustache show.
Woody,
Maurice
Woody
Meyer.
Woody's not going to be
A
able to make the
mustache.
show till April. Woody's got
Well-
stuff going on till April, I think. So I don't know.
We
You
all
can
have
try,
stuff
but
going
I
on.
don't know.
No, we can wait, but no, write that down. We have to have a mustache show. RL, there's a
Okay.
picture of RL on like a Mary with a mustache. You know, that with his Peter Frampton hair. And then Woody had a mustache and Drob had a mustache. I mean, I probably won't shave my beard off, but you know, I mean, I could all have mustaches.
That's why Dave had a mustache for a
I
few-
know, I know, I know.
But then we can- Woody.
We were gonna
Okay, so-
surprise Woody.
So guys, we should probably wrap it up. What do you think, Joe? This is the longest. This is our marathon.
I'm having a great time now because I'm talking. It's only been, I had all kinds of stuff I wanted to talk about, but that's okay.
Okay, what do you?
No, I'm kidding. No, I'm just no. When we were talking about how doing shows you can reach the kids, I had an experience with that when my friends and I did the Maid show on MTV and at Woodward, like there were like the next year at Woodward there was like way more kids and there was a whole bunch of girls that were riding because of that
Really?
show. So we were able to reach a ton of kids because of MTV, because they played that show all the time. And I noticed.
Next time, I think Ray, you ought to talk about the Rockville shows.
Yeah, Rockville. I mean, and
Because
Dave
I
could
never
talk about
made
this.
it to any of those shows, and they were huge.
Oh,
and you guys used to.
They
open
were
up
great.
for-
Yeah, they were.
Yeah,
they
they were
amazing.
great shows.
Yeah, you should talk about some of those.
They were so huge. It was the biggest show you'd ever go to.
Yeah.
And just like all the and you'd like meet people there, and ride, and just they were great.
I had
So
another
true.
point to bring up. We had a comment on one of our channels, and it said it was from Mike Hagan, and he said, I'm loving the Brady Brunch format, although it didn't happen today because we didn't have everybody on. But he said, holy crap, Chris Dossie, so cool to hear riders respect her as a rider, not as a girl that rode. This is great stuff. So
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. And like hearing about the MTV, how can we get more women involved in the sport? I think is a really key factor for sure.
One, I think, is don't be dicks. And that actually helps a lot across, with all sorts of people getting involved. When Chris said that, I was like, that was really very cool. Because there is this like, oh, girl rider, how do we support the girl riders? And it's like, you just support anyone who's a rider. And if it's a girl,
Yep.
it means more.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I think we should wrap it up, Joe. Why don't we go around quickly and just do a little roundtable? Ray,
Yes.
any final words for you, Ray?
Joe, just get my phone number, and then this way we can text. Like I'd like to text you tonight. I'd like to text you pictures. I'd like to text you some videos. Anything I can. I would find that very fulfilling. That if I could connect with you through text messaging instead of you sending Kevin Jones all these texts, if that could help you out. And I know you're going to be busy, getting married with just 3 people in the room, because that's a normal. But anyway, that's all I really have to say. And today was pretty awesome seeing Gail Webb. I've never seen her or met her, and she seems like she has done a ton for the sport of BMX skateboarding and just for people. Like, she really seems like she's a wonderful person, and we're lucky to have her. She's awesome.
Absolutely.
Gail Webb is an angel.
She is.
Yeah, we have
Dave Norrie is the angel of death.
The angel of death. Carl, what about you? How about some final words from you? I know you joined kind of late, but you got here. So
Well, yeah, it's thanks for having me on. As always, I'm sorry for working on this. You can see it. That's the start of the pump track.
You're frozen,
So,
Carl. We can only hear you. We can only hear you.
Oh, okay. I'm back in my building here. So I'm going to get back to doing the pump track stuff, but I'm really stoked that you guys had me on. I'm sorry I was kind of late to it. We were busy building, but you guys are all rock stars. And just remember, if you can tell anybody and everybody about our place, any kid that needs a place to go, like we're here. If riders are out on the travels, we're smack dab in the middle of the country, 20 minutes off Interstate 80. So come camp, stay the night, stay with us, do whatever, eat supper with us, hang out, ride. That's what we're here for, man. We just love BMX and we love everything about it, and we just want to help it. So Dave, you're awesome. You're one of my favorite human beings, coming out here all the time. And Joe, I hope you're able to make it this year. I know you were trying to make it last year, so hopefully you can make it this year. And everybody else that's on this call, you guys are all awesome. So thank you as always.
Cool. Thank you, Carl.
Thank you, Carl.
Awesome. Thanks.
Hey, when is Corn Hucket this year?
September 24th. It'll be our 10th. It'll hopefully be our biggest yet. So
I have yet to be there. I would like to be there this year. It sounds awesome.
Oh man, I would love that. It would be truly an honor. So
sweet, we'll do it. We'll do it.
We make it. You can ask Dave. We make everybody feel like family. So
yeah, it's awesome. It's a great event.
Thanks, you guys. Have an awesome day, and everybody stay rad.
All right,
we're not finishing though. Carl, stick on for just another minute. We're just doing a round.
Oh, okay.
Keith,
Sorry, go
Keith
ahead.
King. This is me being the director. Sorry, Ray, are you gonna be able to do this next week? Because this is the kind of thing you're gonna have to, hold down the floor.
On Sunday, yes. If we can do it Sunday.
Okay. Keith King, how about final words, thoughts, ideas?
I mean, I think one of the most important things we got out of this is Joe knows he needs to add another time notch to his water bottle, especially
Right
for Brett.
No buddy.
But yeah, I mean, I definitely look forward to it next week. I mean, I think when I think of like who are pioneers, like talking about pioneers of BMX stunt show. If anybody knows anything about RL and Woody, I mean, Woody was running the Hutch team when he was like 19. I can't imagine being 19 years old and coordinating tours and things of that
Yeah.
sort at that age. And so you're talking about two guys that laid the groundwork for shows because RL obviously did shows with Haro, and then they were some of the very first guys to do, besides Gale,
Right.
they laid a lot of groundwork for all of what we do. So I mean, who knows where the sport would be far as freestyle and stuff like that if those guys had not done those type of shows back in the day. Because I mean, think about how many people didn't even know freestyle existed back then, and they showed up at a race. Because RL and Woody both did a lot of shows at races, and a lot of guys decided, I'm not going to race, I'm going to freestyle. So I think you're talking about two guys that were a heavy influence of the sport spinning off and going a whole different direction with freestyle.
Yeah. Right. Good point.
I think there's a lot to talk to them about that and get their thoughts on that.
Nice. Cool. How about you, Yella?
Gosh, I feel very fortunate that we get to do this, get to keep riding BMX bikes into our midlife years and be the elders of this sport, passing it on to the new generation. I mean, we are the first group of guys who've reached this age and actually seen it from the beginning, and it's kind of an unprecedented moment. It's going to go on and continue to progress beyond anything we've ever imagined. As the bikes get better, more kids get exposed to it. There's more places to ride. And
there we have 'em.
his
Yeah.
phone went out.
Joe, what about you? Final words from Mr.
Oh, all right. Final words. This has been
Take
a
a sip of water
spectacular
first.
show. Having Gail Webb say what she said was spectacular. And I can't top what Gail Webb said. But what I will say is I'm going to do what Gail Webb said.
Nice. Yeah. Cool. Well, I just want to say thank you for everyone that made it to the call. And,
I have one that toolbox.
and I want to thank our sponsors, Cool Stop, Flatland Fuel. Help me with all the names so I don't miss anybody, Joe.
Joe's Water Jug, Reclamation Bikes,
Coconut Water.
Coconut
Joe's
Water.
Lukewarm
Joe's-
coconut water.
Lukewarm Coconut Water.
Wilkerson Airlines, the birth of the freestyle.
Xavier
movement,
something,
Xavier
Xavier
Mendez
Mendez.
Enterprises.
And also Swatch Watch. We have the Matt Hoffman Swatch Watch. I think that's gonna be a
Right,
new
right.
sponsor. And the big news, Joe, we actually have our first actual sponsor that's paying us cash. We have Tony and Bree are sponsoring Factor Freestyle. And they're gonna pay us cash. And so any of our listeners in Milwaukee, if you see either Tony or Bree, just go give them a hug. Just go give them a big, Factor Freestyle hug and thank them for sponsoring the show. We are now on SoundCloud, and that will then turn into other platforms soon so that people can listen to it in other places.
Yeah, we're going to be on iPhone podcasts.
And then my final point is just to check out factorfreestyle.com for upcoming events, shows, and sign some of it up. It's only 43 cents if you want to be on the show. And we do have someone for next week. Rodney, did you see that, Joe? But Rodney.
Yeah,
gonna be
Rodney's going to be on
next week. So
next
we'll
week. Oh, well, we got to get with him because if we move the show date to Sunday, we got to make sure that he is aware of that.
good point. Yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone. Really appreciate
Joe,
it.
I'm going to text you right now when we sign off here. I'm going to text you. And if I don't get a text back in 43 seconds, I'm never talking to you again.
I'm ready.
Whoa.
Let's do it.
Dang.
See you guys.
All right, guys. Thanks so
All
much.
right. See ya.